Okay, good afternoon to all the heads of school, teachers, ADIs, VRCs, CRCs that are attending this meeting on APAAR ID. I am Saish Gandhi, Nodal Officer for Vidya Samiksha Kendra, as well as Nodal Officer for APAAR ID creation. Today's meeting is all about informing you about how this APAAR ID is important for all the students in the schools of Goa. In fact, for the entire country, APAAR ID is being rolled out. I'll explain to you in brief how APAAR ID is important, and then we will explain to you the steps on how we can generate the APAAR ID and how easy it is to do this process. So let me take to you stepwise. I'll explain to you how APAAR ID is important for all the students. So can we go to the next slide in the presentation? Yes. So here, as per the NEP 2020, it has been mandated that there has to be a central, one common ID for all the students. Why do they say so? Because there's something called as ABC ID, Academic Bank of Credits, wherein the student is allowed to change schools, is allowed to take subjects which are different that are offered in the school, is allowed to accumulate credits. It is only possible when a unique identity is created for a child. Just like a Aadhaar is essential for every individual, APAAR ID is a unique ID for every student in the country. That means wherever he travels, wherever he is transferred, or wherever he studies, his entire data is linked to that particular number. In fact, in the future, all the certificates, all the degrees will carry this APAAR ID, and this will help in prevention of duplicacy also. Hence, it has been made mandatory that APAAR ID, which is a 12-digit unique code, is essential to be created by the state for the particular student. This ID will function as a digital identity for the student in the realm of education. So there is a difference between Aadhaar and APAAR. Aadhaar is for general identity, APAAR is for all the needs of the education, and hence it is meant for a student. Now, it provides a lifelong academic identity. Means from the time he's in the school, higher secondary, college, degree, whatever studies he's undertaking, this ID will remain consistently the same one. It's a centralized system at India level, and the IDs are created at a centralized level. Okay. The advantage of this is the student will be able to do credit transfers. What do you mean by credit transfers is, for example, a student is doing some NSQ subject. Say he has taken a skill-based NSQ subject in the 9th and 10th grade, and he's now transferred to, say, Mumbai or Delhi. He can carry these credits from 9th and 10th that he has taken in Goa, and when he goes to Delhi or Mumbai on transfer, the same credits also will be transferred to the particular student. Correct? The last point is it has features to preserve students' achievements also. Meaning whatever achievements that the student is able to in terms of certificates, any other sports or whatever certificates are there, other than academics, also can be linked to a particular ID, that is the APAAR ID. That will allow flexibility for the student as well as for the institution, because when the student comes, for example, the student comes on transfer in 11th grade, automatically his entire history, his subjects that he has done, his certificates will automatically be transferred, and you don't have to ask him for a physical copy of the certificates. That is why APAAR ID is essential for all the students of Goa, and government of Goa has also issued a circular to that effect, and we are supposed to implement APAAR ID on immediate basis. It's a very simple process. It is all done through UDICE ID. The UDICE ID software. And for your information, all the schools of Goa are already using UDICE. That means you are already uploading the students' data to the UDICE portal. And through this portal only, the APAAR ID is created. You don't have to log into a new portal. Am I clear here? Now let me explain to you to the next slide how the process will actually take place. Here, the most important part of the process is we have to obtain a consent from the parent that we are creating a APAAR ID. The consent form, the format has been shared to all the schools via circular. We'll also share it via chat right now in this chat in the YouTube live. You can take the consent form from there also. Now, this consent form has to be signed by the parent and given back to the school, for which we are suggesting that the schools can conduct a PTM, the parent teachers meeting. This PTM could be also called as a mega PTM, wherein you call all the parents and the parents come and submit this consent form. The consent form is very simple. It says, I so and so parent, the name is there, and he's saying, I consent my child to be given a APAAR ID. Okay. Now, the parent is also supposed to submit his own ID card, his own ID proof in terms of, say, Aadhaar card or a license. So the parent has to submit the consent and his own ID proof to the school. Correct? This is the second step in which you are obtaining a physical consent from the parent. Once this step is completed, the school, the one who is logging into the school UDICE has to log into the UDICE portal. Now, for the information of the heads, every teacher, at least one teacher in your school already is accessing the UDICE Plus portal. If you are not aware, you can ask also our MIS, who is there in every taluka, whose details also we will share, will help you in giving the username, password, or whatever technical help you need. Every taluka, we have one MIS person, which will help you in this process, okay, in the UDICE portal process. In this process, already every child detail has been already entered by you in this portal. Right now, currently, it was entered for the last year, and for the current year, your school is already updating these details. What we require is only one field, which is called as the general profile. So there are 3 profiles of the child, in which, for the purpose of APAAR ID, only what we need is general profile. In general profile, there are few questions like what is the name, the date of birth, the name as per Aadhaar. All these details, mostly 95% schools already have the general profile of the student. That means you don't have to create a general profile. 99% of the school students in Goa already have the general profile in the UDICE portal plus. Okay, that makes your life very easy now. You don't have to struggle much. The struggle is only in obtaining the consent. Now, the challenge here I can foresee is some parents, very few parents might say, I am not willing to give the consent for this purpose. In such case, please take it in writing from that in the consent form that the parent is saying he will not give a consent. It's just like Aadhaar. In case of Aadhaar also, you are saying that I want an Aadhaar, right? The similar process applies to APAAR ID also, but please take it in writing from the parent, in which he says either yes to giving APAAR ID, or he says, the parent says no. But please keep this copy with you so that you have a proof the parent has said that he doesn't want the APAAR ID. He's not giving consent for creation of APAAR ID. So this document is a very important document that you will store with you in your school. That is the consent form. Okay, till now if you're clear. Now, once this is done, you have to log into the UDICE portal, and UDICE portal is a very easy step. I will ask my colleague in some time to share the process with you, how you can create an APAAR ID. And actually, we will create one APAAR ID right now in front of you to prove it to you how simple it is. Fine. Now, you might have another question is, how many students or all is data of my school completed? All these questions you will have. So for your information, there is one report available to you as a head of the school, to your school login ID. There's a report in which the last column is whether it is verified, verifiable, or not verified. So if you see this status, you will come to know if it is verified, that means the general profile of the child is completely done. Correct? That means there is nothing else to be done. If it is not verified, please verify it. So this process of verification is to be done at the school level. So the HMs have to request the teacher which is handling the UDIs to do this process. Any case of any difficulty, please ask the MIS and they will help you. Or we can conduct more such technical training sessions for your teachers based on your requirement. Fine. So this is the process. Now, let me again explain to you in the next slide in a very simple manner. See, in this next step, what we are saying, the first step is organize the parent-teachers meeting through a PTA meeting. Second is, in the PTA meeting, invite the parent along with Aadhaar card or any other photo ID proof. Correct? Two things here, Aadhaar card of the child and Aadhaar card or any ID proof of the parent. Two things that parent has to bring to the PTA. Number 3 is, create an awareness on why APAAR is important, for which we will share with you videos. We will share 5 set of videos with you right now in the chat. Please share these videos with your parents before they even come to you, because they are not aware of what APAAR is. Correct? So you can share these videos with your parents so that when they come to the PTA, they are aware of what the importance of Aadhaar is. Fine. Number 4 is distribute the consent forms. So the consent form which is required to be signed, send it in advance to the parent so that when the parent comes to the PTA, he brings a signed copy of the consent form. Okay. So next step is obtain parental consent. Now, educate students and parents on APAAR. So this education can be done through a PPT or these videos that I'm sharing, in which you can share with your parents why APAAR ID is essential. Now, this is the non-technical process till now. Henceforth, what I'm explaining to you is a technical process in which the teacher in charge can look into this in more details, in which verify and authenticate student's name, father or mother's name, gender, and date of birth. This, which is then the student's profile, has to be checked by the teacher, concerned teacher, or the concerned person who is dealing with UDICE Plus in your school. So, for example, in class 3, there are say 50 students. In 50 students, does all 50 students have the student profile updated or not? This has to be checked. Once the student profile is checked and the consent form is obtained from the parent, this is enough for the teacher to create the APAAR ID. APAAR ID process creation will happen in your own school. It will not happen at a centralized level. Please note this. The school is completely empowered to create its own APAAR ID. You don't need us to create an APAAR ID. We'll only help you technically or to provide you information. The entire process of APAAR creation will happen completely at the school level. Hope I'm clear here as far as the information is concerned. So the school should generate the APAAR ID through the UDICE portal and share the same to the students. Now, this students' information is very important. You have to share the number with the students, because henceforth, everything that will happen on the APAAR ID. For example, the student attendance will happen on APAAR ID. The Parak examinations will happen on APAAR ID. In fact, the entire identity of the child henceforth in the next 6 months will happen only based on APAAR ID. That important it will be. Okay. So after 6 months, say once you have given out the APAAR IDs for all the students, the next year's ID card, if the school is issuing an ID card, should mention the APAAR ID on the student's ID card. That completes the process of APAAR. Hope I am clear here. Let me go to the next slide. Now, here we will, I will ask my colleague to do a small brief presentation on how to do this process. Okay, and actually we will create one APAAR ID for you to understand how easy it is to create. I will ask my colleagues Namita and Mayuri to take this session in actually showing to you how APAAR ID is created at a school level. Let us take one school for example. Yeah. I think the school is Vivekanand School, Bori, correct? You will try to log into this school, the UDICE portal of the school. I hope you can see the screen. Share the screen. Screen share. Yes. You can see the screen of UDICE Plus now. So in this UDICE Plus portal, all the schools already have access to their UDICE access login credentials. Please go ahead.
Okay. So you have to go to the UDICE Plus portal, udiceplus.gov.in portal. Okay. And here, login for all modules. We'll click on login for all modules. We have to go to the students module and select our state Goa. and say go. Here you enter your full code. Your password. And login. You have to log in into your school ID. Okay. And go to the current year 24-25. Okay, so this is your school log. You are logging in into your school. Now for creating the APAAR ID, you have to see the left hand side pane. Here you have APAAR. Okay. Now first thing you should keep in mind before going to the APAAR module, before creation of the APAAR module, the general profile section of the student should be completed. If the general profile module is not updated, if not is not completed, then you cannot start with the APAAR module. So left hand side, you can see the APAAR module. Click on the APAAR module section. Here, you can select the class. Suppose I am going to class 9. Selecting the class 9. My section of my class. Let's see. Once you select the class, you are getting all the students of standard 9A. Okay. So here you are getting the basic details of the student name, gender, date of birth, the mobile number of the parent, class, student, PAN number. So student's PAN number should be created. If at all the PAN number is not created, you can contact your block MIS coordinator. Profile status, it is showing completed. That means general profile section of this student is completed. That's why the profile status is completed. Now status, it is showing pending. Pending means we have not created APAAR ID for this particular student. Your APAAR ID is not available because right now it is not created. And there is, in the action column, there is one generate button. If the profile status is not completed of the student, then you will not have this generate button enabled. This generate button is enabled now because the profile status is completed. Now to show you a live generation of APAAR ID, we'll go to one particular student. Suppose I'm selecting this student. Okay. The profile status is completed. Action button is generate button is enabled. So I'm clicking generate. Once you click on generate, the basic information of the student is shown. That is student's name of the student and date of birth of the student. So you have to check whether all these details are correct, and these details should match the details on Aadhaar ID of the student. If these are not matching with the Aadhaar ID of the student, then you will have to go to the general profile section of UDICE Plus of this student and update the name, date of birth, whatever, whichever field is incorrect, suppose name or date of birth, you have to go to the general profile section of the student and update. If both are not matching, the Aadhaar name and the name entered here in UDICE is not matching, then you won't be able to go further. So please keep in mind, the basic information of the student is matching with the Aadhaar number, Aadhaar details. And next, down you will see the consent by father, mother, the legal guardian of the student for APAAR ID generation. So you have already, suppose you have already collected the consent form, the physical consent form. Now here, you just have to enter the father's name or the mother's name. Suppose I have received the consent form given by the father. So I will select here father. I will enter the name of father of the student. Okay. Okay, here in the basic information of the student, you are getting the name of the student and the date of birth. And here, when I click on the plus sign, you are getting the gender, the mobile number of the parent, father's name, and the mother's name. Suppose mobile number here is incorrect, then here also you can go to the general profile section and update the mobile number of the parent. The mobile number here is very important because once the APAAR ID is generated, the message will be sent to the parent's mobile number. Okay, if anything, if any of these details from the basic information of the student are not correct, is not correct, you can go to the general profile and update. So down here is the consent form, consent by the parents. So I will write the parent's name, and is father of the student Samar with my identity proof. So suppose parents identity proof I am selecting, you can select any of these, whichever is provided by the parents. Suppose Aadhaar as the ID proof, PAN as the ID proof, voting ID, driving license or the passport. Here I am selecting the Aadhaar as the ID proof of the parent, and then ID number, the Aadhaar number of the parent. Okay, please make sure the details entered are correct. Read the consent form. Then we have to enter place of physical consent. The place of physical consent received is Swami Vivekananda Vidyalaya, Borim. So I am writing the place. Okay, and date of physical consent. Suppose today I have received the physical consent, so I will select the date of physical consent. So this was the consent by the parent. Now down I have consent by head of the school. So here the name of the head of the school will come. Suppose it is not correct, you can change it. You can update the name of the head of the school. Okay, here is the declaration. And then after all the details are submitted, all the details are correct, you can say submit. So you are getting this message. Are you sure you want to generate the APAAR with consent by father Amit Velinka? I'm saying yes. Some mandatory fields values are incorrect or missing. Wait, we'll check. So here I have mentioned place, while I have mentioned extra characters like comma and all, so I will remove it. Okay. I will say submit. I will confirm. Again, I will check if anything is missing. So only one place I will write and I will check. And I will say submit. I will confirm.
It could be because the name is a mismatch. Samar middle name is not there in Samar. As per Aadhaar name, Samar Amit Velinkar is there as per Aadhaar. Ravindra.
Student's name in school record should be similar to that of the name as per Aadhaar.
So here is the practical problem that you will face now. It is essential that the name has to be exactly as per the Aadhaar. As you can see in this case, the student's name in the school is Samarth Velinkar in the UDICE portal. Whereas you can see here down, the name as per Aadhaar is Samarth Amit Velinkar. So now it's a decision of the parent to decide whether he wants to keep the name in the school as per Aadhaar. If not, then he has to change the Aadhaar. In this case, now how quickly can we change the basic profile here? Can you please explain?
Yes.
So in case because there is a name mismatch, let us see how the school can update the name in the UDICE portal quickly.
So here you can go to the school dashboard. Select the class. So my student was in 9th A, so I will go to 9th A. Okay, I will search the student. Okay, so your name is, I will go to the general profile of the student. I will click on GP. So here you will have to go to the general profile and you will have to check. Now for general profile, when you are changing the name, you will have to submit the S01 form. You have to submit the S01 form to the block because you are changing the general profile details like date of birth, name of the student, or the gender. If any of these details are incorrect or not matching with the Aadhaar number, then you will have to submit the S01, S01 form to the block, wherein you will have to change the name of the students. Once S01 form is updated and given to the block MIS coordinator of your block, they will change the name in the general profile.
Okay, you mean to say that in such a case wherein the name of the child or any other general profile fields have to be updated, there is a form for it, and the form has to be submitted for each student in such a case to the block MIS coordinator, correct?
Yes.
And the block MIS coordinator then will make the update, and then they will be able to update this, correct? Now, this is in case of where the parent wants to correct the name in the school, but there's another scenario wherein he feels that the name in Aadhaar is incorrect. Then in such a case, it is the responsibility of the parent to get the Aadhaar updated. Correct? So the parent will have to go for Aadhaar updation of this child and come back to you and saying that now I updated the Aadhaar, please now update my APAAR ID. So there are two scenarios in case of APAAR ID creation. First, in case of mismatch of name, the updation of name can be done at the school level by submitting the S01 form to the block MIS coordinator. Okay, in case the parent wants the name to be updated in the UDICE portal. If the parent wants to update the name in the Aadhaar portal, then the parent has to go for Aadhaar updation and then come back to the school. So these two scenarios, please note schools that you have to make a note of these two scenarios. Fine. So, but as you see, if the general profile is completed, Aadhaar updation is not going to take much of a time. It is very easy to do. Hence, it is requested that the schools please start this process of seeing how many students in your school already have the profile status verified. That filter, can you please show the filter, please? How can a school know how many have been? Can you please explain how to create this view?
So you can go to the school dashboard. And class-wise, you can check. Class-wise, you can check whether the general profile is completed. If this general profile is not completed, you can go to the general profile and complete the section. And second part is you can go to the list of all the students. After completing the general profile, go to the list of all students. Click on active students. Okay, these are my students. And here you are against each student it is mentioned verified from UIDAI against name and gender. Okay, so these two students are verified. The name is the details are verified as per UIDAI. So here the student details are not verified, so you can validate Aadhaar from UIDAI by just clicking this button. So your verification has failed. The details of the students being entered are not matching as per Aadhaar. So here the details have to be checked whether entered on Aadhaar are correct or whether entered here in UDAS portal are correct. So details have to be here. The details are mismatching as per Aadhaar. So you have to validate against each name of the student. The validate button. You have to just click the validate button and validate the details of the students. Once you have generated the APAAR ID, by clicking on submit button, the parent of the student will get the message on his or her mobile number that the APAAR ID is generated and the APAAR ID will be sent to the parent's mobile number.
Yeah, so this is how the technical presentation is. This is how your school will create APAAR IDs. Now, we'll be sharing with you one template in which we are going to track the performance of the school as far as APAAR ID is created, a generation is concerned. It is very essential that the Goa state completes APAAR ID creation immediate basis. So this form that we are sharing with you will help us track the progress of your particular school. The progress will be tracked in terms of whether you have asked for consent, whether the consent has been obtained from the parent, yes or no, whether the name is matching as per Aadhaar or no, or whether the parent has gone for Aadhaar updation. So there will be 4 or 5 columns for status for every child. We expect that the schools will be updating this sheet for us so that we are able to know the current status of the school as far as APAAR ID creation is concerned. The MIS for the particular block currently will be also checking and sharing reports with the schools as far as the status is concerned. So we also will be centrally monitoring and sharing the status with you so that we are able to quickly roll out APAAR ID for the entire students in the state of Goa. So that is all about. If you have any questions, you can please ask them in the chat. We will try to reply right now. I will wait for 5 minutes for you to ask any questions, if any, in the YouTube chat. For any APAAR related tech issues, you can call this one number. I'll share you in the presentation also. Any questions that the schools have, any difficulties, please ask in the chat box. Also, please share the presentation, the last slide. Team, go down to the last slide, please. So please share this slide. So you can see in this slide that I'm sharing currently, there's a helpline number 1800-889-3511. If you have any issues with this, you can call this helpline number. Any which ways, there is our MIS coordinator at every block level. So those numbers also we'll be sharing with all the schools. You can please contact this MIS and they'll be more than willing to help you in any technical queries that you have in updation of your APAAR ID for the students of Goa. I will share this presentation also with you in the chat. Can you please copy this PPT? Share it. No, share button. Copy that in the chat. So I'm sharing this presentation in the chat. You can copy it from the chat and look at it later. Heads can share it with their school teachers. Yeah, we are also shared the links of videos right now in the chat. You can also take the videos from there. Meanwhile, if any other question is there, you can please ask. What if the child's name shows as baby2 of mother's name? Okay, very nice question, Dia. This happens when the Aadhaar has been created at a very early stage. The Aadhaar has not been updated. So it's a responsibility of the parent to get the Aadhaar updated of the child as per the name. So please ask the parent to get the Aadhaar name updated in the Aadhaar card. Next question, how to start this work immediately? Okay, Lily, you are asking how to start immediately. Every school has been already given an APAAR ID, UDICE ID, login name and password. You already have the details with you. The username has been shared with you in the school. One teacher or one staff of your school has been using UDICE portal. UDICE, not APAAR. APAAR is part of UDICE. Please make a note. APAAR is not something different. APAAR is part of the UDICE portal. UDICE portal you all have access to. In the UDICE portal, there is a provision to create APAAR ID. Hope this makes it clear. APAAR ID, there is no separate portal. APAAR is a part of UDICE. What to do if the student not having Aadhaar card? What to do if the student not having Aadhaar card? Please ask the parent to get the Aadhaar card done. It's essential. Also, please note that no name change will be allowed once the APAAR ID is created. So the parent has to be very carefully told that once the APAAR ID is created, it will not be able to change, unlike Aadhaar. So please be careful about the name of the child. It's going to be a once a lifetime updation, academic updation. Okay, few students in my school are from Nepal. They don't have Aadhaar number. What to do? Okay, it's a very unique question. I do not have the answer now. I will ask this question in the central portal and revert back to you. Thanks for asking this question. I think this is a very relevant question. Thanks, teacher Amita Naik, for asking this question. We will please reply to you as soon as possible. Sir, is this ID also for nursery? What is there for nursery? I have to check the answer. It is for nursery. If the school has updated the details in the UDICE portal, then yes. Whoever name is there in UDICE, all those names will be eligible to get APAAR ID. If not given by parents, then their records will not be maintained. Hence, records will be incomplete if consent is not given. Yes, it's a very important question. Dr. Geeta Shastri is asking, what happens if the parent is not willing to give the consent? Please take that consent form back from the parent that they're not willing to take, so that you have a record that the parent is not willing to give that. And you can make a mention of that in your records, in the report that we are creating for you. Please take the consent form back, saying that the parent is not consenting. Correct? The form is essential. Yes or no, please collect back the consent form. Hope that answers your question, Dr. Geeta. Enable school to change name if mistaken other than filing SO form. No, that facility is not provided because UDICE portal is created by Government of India. Sorry, we will not be able to provide that facility of you able to change the name. There's a process to it. The process means that any change in the name, the school has to submit the SO1 form. If Aadhaar card number are not there, what to do? Aadhaar number is essential, without which APAAR ID cannot be created. Please ask the parents to create Aadhaar number. Parent were asking if it is compulsory. APAAR ID is compulsory because it will help the student get unique number. Without unique number, the child will not be able to make a digital copy of the certificates. What will happen is, in the future, when there will be transfer of credits in the grade 9th and 10th, Up till grade 9, we don't see any problem, much of a problem, but from grade 9 onwards, due to NEP implementation, APAAR ID will be very important part. Hence, you should request the parents that for the benefit of the child, they should go for Aadhaar updation and Aadhaar number. Hope that answers your question. The next question is, parents mentioned that Aadhaar card is not generated due to non-availability of proper fingerprints. What about such cases? Please guide. This happens only till the age of, I think, 15, if I'm not mistaken. That Aadhaar cards are given, Aadhaar number is given without even the fingerprint. If the child is a minor, fingerprints are not essential. So it's a misleading information. For example, I can tell you my son, we created an Aadhaar card when he was the age of 3 or 4, when there was no fingerprint. He has an Aadhaar number. Now that he's 15, I am supposed to go back to and update his fingerprint. So UADI means Aadhaar card will not refuse if the fingerprint is not generated. So this question is not relevant. Please note that without fingerprints also, Aadhaar card or Aadhaar number is created. Some parent doesn't even bother about the Aadhaar card. Yes, it's a very valid question, Maria. So please share these videos that I'm sharing with you right now in the chat. We'll also try to make these videos in Marathi and Konkani so that even it reaches out to all the parents. We will share those videos on a later date. Okay, the APAAR ID creation presently is open for the grades 9 to 12 for information. For the other grades, that is grade 1 to 8, it will be opening soon. Maybe in a few days it will open. Currently, as of today, APAAR ID creation is available for the grade 9 to 12 because that's the priority. As per NEP, 9 to 12 is a priority for the entire country. Yeah. The next question is, add form we will get SO1 form. What does it say? From where we will get? From where we will get. We will share it with you via email. Can we share it via email?
They can contact the MIS block.
Okay, you can contact the MIS block to get the SO form. We'll also try to send it as a mail. Don't worry, SO form is just a simple paper form and you will get it. Please share the helpline number in chat. Okay, I'm sharing the helpline number with you in chat. What if student doesn't have Aadhaar number? I think I've answered this question. It is essential that the student has an Aadhaar number. Please request the parent to obtain an Aadhaar. It is very essential today. Without Aadhaar number, we can't create a APAAR ID. Please show the videos and PPT to the schools so that I will yes, we are sharing the PPT right now in the chat. And also we are sharing the videos in the chat. Please take it from the chat. We're sharing it right now. We already shared it in the past. We'll share it with you again. You can just go back and see we are sharing the video also. What is the time frame to complete this APAAR ID? Okay, the time frame is immediate. We have to start for grade 9 to 12 on immediate basis because there is going to be this academic bank of credits because of which they need to have this APAAR ID. So schools from grade to 9, it's a priority. Please complete within this month. Because Government of India is sending us questionnaires about the completion of APAAR ID. Is there any specific written format for taking consent? Yes, there is a written format consent which has been shared, which will be shared again with you in the email. Don't worry, we have already shared it in the past. We will share it with you again. So you're asking, so PAN number is no longer needed. PAN number is required, but not essential. What is essential is the APAAR ID. PAN number will be automatically created. Every time UDICE, the moment you enter the child into UDICE, a PAN number is automatically created. So it is by default PAN number is required. Please share the helpline number. We have shared it. Please check in the chat. Is there any PDF of the same? For the consent form, we have shared the PDF. We'll share it with you again. Every child is having PAN number. So is it same number or different number? PAN number is different from APAAR ID. Please note, APAAR ID is only generated once we get the consent and Aadhaar number from the child. Till that time, APAAR ID is not created. Please note that. PAN ID is different, PAN number is different, and APAAR ID is different. So what about special school students? It applies to special school students also. Special schools also have to use the UDICE software to enter the student's detail. Everything will remain the same. Other generation will remain the same. Is APAAR compulsory? Then why consent form is necessary? So APAAR is compulsory, but if the parent gives no consent, then APAAR will not be given to that particular student. That is the answer. If the parent is not willing to give a consent, then APAAR ID will not be created. Can you please share information videos about APAAR ID? Yes, we have already shared. We'll also share by email. We have update only 9 to 12. Yes. As of now, to start immediately, time being, we have to start with grade 9 to 12 for APAAR ID. Yes. Some migrant students still do not have Aadhaar card. Then what to do? Valid question. I have answered in the past. See, these migrant students will have to get Aadhaar number one day or the other. It is essential. So please ask them to provide it on immediate basis. How many ID for one child? No, we don't need child identity card for a child. We only need the Aadhaar number of the child and identity card of the parent. We don't need any other identity card from the student. Please, Arifa Mascarenes. The answer is we only need identity card of the parent and Aadhaar number of the child. That's it. From Tukoba, like Chandrabaga Tukoba school is compulsory, then why consent form is required? You're asking me the same question. See, we cannot go. India is a democratic country, hence consent is important. If the parent is not willing to give a consent, please take it in writing from the parent that he is not giving the consent. Okay, keep that in the record with you. If the parent wants to change the surname, so it is two ways. If the parent wants to change the surname in the Aadhaar, then he has to go for Aadhaar updation. If the parent wants to change the surname in the UDICE portal, then the school has to fill the SO1 form and submit to the MIS coordinator. And the MIS coordinator will update the surname or name. The parent's ID copy is the form of the hard copy required, or the ID number is enough. It is better to keep a hard copy with you with the consent form. You can staple the ID proof of the parent with the consent form, so that when you are actually entering the details, you will have the copy in your hand and it's not mistaken. So please, if preferable, keep the copy of the parent's ID. When to complete APAAR ID for primary school? We will inform to you immediately. Maybe by the next meeting that we have, we will inform to you once the portal is opened for primary. Okay. The next question. Please provide the access videos. We have already shared the helpline access videos in the chat. Please check above in the chat. You will get those videos. We'll share once again also. Who will create APAAR ID? Class teachers or computer teacher? It depends on the head of the school. The head of the school must have already appointed somebody in the school to undertake the UDICE portal work. The same person will create the APAAR ID. Whoever has been doing the UDICE work will continue to do the work of APAAR ID. It depends on each school. The head of the school will decide who in the school will create the APAAR ID. Why consent is mandatory? Okay, you're asking me the same question. Consent is required to create APAAR ID because it is linked to Aadhaar. And as per Aadhaar law, consent is mandatory. Hence, consent is required. Do we need to mention APAAR ID on living certificate also? Yes, that notification will be issued next year, not this year. It is this year we will be completing APAAR ID generation, and by next year it will be essential. On APAAR ID, the user as identity proof.
In APAAR ID, user identity proof.
Can APAAR card be used as identity proof?
APAAR card is identity proof can be used.
APAAR ID is only for academic purposes only. Please note. Henceforth, every academic record of the child will be based on APAAR ID. Can the guardian sign in place of a parent? It depends on the general profile of the UDIs. In the UDIs, if the same person is guardian is mentioned, then yes. So you have to update the general profile also. In the general profile, you will have the parent, somebody's name there, either legal guardian or parent. Whatever name is there in the general profile of UDIs, take the consent preferably from the same person to prevent a problem. So please send the consent form. Yes, I am sending. We will share in PDF, not in Word, because it will be easier. If you share it in Word document, it will break up. We will share the consent form in PDF format. Is Aadhaar card linking with students' qualifications? No. Aadhaar card is not linking. APAAR ID is linking. Please note. Aadhaar card is different and APAAR ID is different. Correct? APAAR ID will have the information of the child, his qualifications, his certificates, not Aadhaar card. If the Aadhaar is not rectified, so what is the other option to complete the process? It's you cannot complete the APAAR unless and until Aadhaar is rectified. So we are sharing one report template with you. Please mention that the Aadhaar updation is pending from the parent side, and that it is not your problem, it is the parent's problem. In the future, we are planning to create a special drive in the school for Aadhaar updation. Not so soon, it will happen that in your school, somebody from Aadhaar UID will come for the helping the parents update their portal. It is in the planning process, but not for now. Is school network okay, you are saying internet problem is there in your school. Oh, that problem the school will have to sort now with the new scheme wherein which has been put by Directorate of Education. Every school has been given feature to take network connection and whose bill will be paid by the DOE, the grants. So as per circular of Government of Goa, every school will be is being provided reimbursement for obtaining network connectivity. So if your current network connectivity is not working, please take a new network connection, whichever is there in your area, and the bill will be settled. There is a circular from Directorate of Education to this effect. If you want, I will share that copy with you of this circular. Should there
What benefits the child will get?
Okay, what benefit the child will get? I have shared it in the presentation. Please look at the presentation. The first slide speaks about the benefit. What is the use of APAAR ID? I have shared the use of APAAR ID in the presentation. Please look at the presentation. It is there in the chat. I think that covers a lot of your questions. Thank you, teachers, for being so active in asking questions. Okay, one or two last questions.
How many digits?
How many digits is the? No, you cannot create the APAAR ID. APAAR ID is automatically created by the APAAR portal, by the UDIS portal. I think it's a 12-digit number. It's automatically created. You cannot create the number. Sir, guardian has to be different from parent, or the parent's name only can be mentioned in the space provided for the guardian. See, very rarely there are guardians mentioned. Mostly it is parents. In case the parent is not there and guardian is signing the consent form, please check whether the same guardian is also name reflecting in the UDIS portal. Some students' name change is a process, is in process. What about them? So if it is in process, it is fine. Please update it in the report also that we are asking for you. The time given will be this month we have to complete for 9th to 12th standard. What if a parent has more than one child? Can same Aadhaar number of the yes. If the parent has more than two children in the same school, the same parent ID Aadhaar number will be used. Parents Aadhaar number is only for identity proof, not for anything else. Circular issued by the DOE about connectivity to the schools. Okay, I will share the circular issued by DOE for your information. So I will send a mail to all the schools again with the presentation, with the link of videos and the circular issued by DOE for connectivity. Okay, I'll share you all this in one email. Fine. Anything else? Okay, I can see all thank yous. Great. Nice interacting with you all, heads of school and teachers. Hope we will connect with you soon in the next 15 days because this is a mission mode project by Government of India. We have been given a mandate to complete APAAR ID creation for the grade 9 to 12 by the month end. So we will again have this meeting soon and we'll take an update from all of you. Thank you. And if you have any more questions, you can reply to the mail that we are sending and we'll try to reply back to you. Yeah. Thank you.